Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a best of 3 between hero and Solar from GSL Group D. Both of these players, I feel like of the peak of their being right now. I'm not sure if that's entirely true for Solar. I think Solar in 2015 might have been better in comparison to the other players that were around back then, but he's definitely, he is a top 10 player at the moment, maybe even top 8. He's extremely powerful. He's shown that time and time again. On GSL last year, performed well at a lot of the offline events versus the foreigners as well. Hero, always a beast of course, always knows what he's doing, and probably the best Protoss versus Zerg in the world, so it should be an exciting matchup. You have the standard Stargate coming out here, nothing weird going on. No scout out of Hero, and this is a typical Hero wall as well, with a pylon gateway cybernetics core, little tiny hole here on the left side, allowing you to block that at least for a little bit with just a single adept. It's a bit weak. The Baneling bust maybe, or some type of some powerful Ling Flood or Ravager Bios could hit that pylon and boom, it's gone. Like, it's not very well protected by being further back. But this is how Hero has been walling for the past few weeks, months now. And he's been enjoying it. One thing that this type of walling allows, of course, is that you can get a very fast third base, because you can skip the second gateway rather than having to build it in your wall. And that's something we might be seeing here. As this Oracle is being chrono boosted out, this Ling is trying very desperately to get in here. He's not going to be capable of doing that as the Adept moves back. This Adept still on the other side of the map. I'm not quite sure what the plan is, but at some point needs to start shading back home. So let's face it, Metabolic Boost is about to finish up, and once the speed is there for the Lynx, that is the end of the timing for this Adept. As indeed the next is going to be built here off of a single gateway with 3 Adepts out on the map right now. A couple of Lynx make their way across the map as the first spore goes up as well. Let's take a look at this overall control on this Oracle. See if it's going to be good enough here. Flies through 2 Queens. Takes a lot of shield damage. A little bit of hull damage as well. The Nexus goes down 3rd gas. What is this pylon placement? Oh. So I guess he's instantly gonna go for some type of wall over here. This is a crazy pylon to have though. Like crazy pylon to have. Good initial trade I think for Hero as he kills what, 4 or 5 Lynx. 9 Lynx going down for 1 Adept. That's a trade that I think every Protoss would love to make. Literally the only thing that makes sense is like a 4 gateway wall here on the bottom side. Otherwise this is the worst possible pylon location. I mean, you could have just done this with a later pylon, I feel like. This feels really crazy to me. Okay, I just don't understand this. It's like he got like a panic attack when he had to throw down this pylon or something. Maybe like his little brother punched him in the arm. His dog started eating his food. And while trying to get the food out of his dog's mouth, he accidentally threw down his pylon. I guess this looks god-awful. What the hell is this? I don't even want to pay attention to what's happening with these Adepts right now. Gonna just be shading back home anyway. Blink and +1 on the way. Second gateway has basically completed, and here starts the wall. It's gonna be 4 gateways. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. I mean, this is not a wall, so gonna need to add a couple more as Solar decides to go in. This is obviously not a fight that he can actually take with a battery there. Solar being kind of sloppy here with these Lynx. He had lost 9 already. Now he's lost 7 more for no real reason. So down 16 Lynx versus a single Adept. Now, not a single worker has gone down, so that is definitely a big positive. And here come the Oracles. As Solar started by attacking his own extractor. Now a couple of workers do end up falling. So those are the first 3 workers that die here. It's just a double... Was it actually just double Oracle? Yeah, just double Oracle opener. Something we don't see every day. Double Oracle opener coming out of Hero. It's going to allow him to attack a little bit quicker. Every time you build an extra Oracle, your initial push out is going to be delayed because your blink is going to be delayed. This is a lot of gateways though here, off of 2 bases. We have a second forge coming out. This almost feels like the old school Hero style. Double forge, high stalker counts, quickly going into charge lots. At least that's what I imagine behind this. But the weird thing here is that we also have 6 gases. So the ability to tech into a Templar Archives is there. It's the possibility is... I mean, it makes no sense to get 6 gas and then not get a Templar Archives in this particular situation. You could perhaps even see a 3rd forge being added in with the amount of gas that we're floating right now. Fort base gonna get thrown down 7 minutes. That is not particularly fast, by the way. I'd like to just plant a flag there for everyone to see it. Is that this is by no means a fast forward base, and that was pretty much the entire point of the old hero style with the double upgrade, is that yes, you get a lot of map control, but you also have very good mineral eco, and this is not what hero is doing right now. We see that tech into the Templar Archives, into the robotics facility, relatively late forward base. These links are trying to do something. These links don't have upgrades though, they're not going to be capable of doing anything. A single zealot warping is going to shut that down extremely hard. Battery has finished over here on the forward base already as well, so Stalkers now start moving in forward. Roaches with the speed can be okay against this, but so far hero actually losing a couple of Stalkers. This wasn't necessarily a great trade for him, as we see Solar moving into the Lurker then right now. I like this play because it's an extremely high Stalker count. The higher the Stalker count, the better the Lurker, is the old StarCraft proverb that I've always heard. And that definitely is true. Roach count is extremely high as well, by the way. I'm really quite shocked by that. The number of roaches that have been created pre-Hydra is shocking almost. Roaches cost gas, and it's gas that you want to invest into Hydras often. That's why so commonly we see these type of builds, these lurker rushes with an extremely high link count initially. So you open up with like +1 melee, then go into +1 range afterwards. That way you can get a lot of links out, which are relatively strong against Stalkers, and then you can just go straight into Hydras and then the fast lurkers. Because yeah, if you build what? 22 freaking roaches, that's a lot of gas that you just wasted. That's like 500 gas or so, a little bit more, that has been wasted here into a roach, or well, wasted. It's still supply, but it's not very good supply, is what I'm trying to say. Especially not given the opponent's army composition. The morphin here is relatively quick, as Seismic Spines is about 20% done. This could be a very, very viable push out. This is something we really shouldn't underestimate, is that when lurkers get in position, again, against any Protoss army really, lurkers are practically unbeatable. But the art is, as a Protoss player, is to make sure that these lurkers can't get into position without losing a lot of crap at home. Lurkers are also very vulnerable to run-bys. Lurkers are not great when they're not burrowed, because then they don't shoot. So there's a lot of things you can do as a Protoss player, and pretending to be very aggressive out on the map is definitely one of the main things I think that is powerful. These roaches are going to be pushed back here, as Stalkers do find it. This does allow Solar to move across the map. It's going to take out these rocks rather than running through the middle. This is actually delaying his own push out for, in my mind, no real good reason. We get a blink forward out of hero, who believes that he should be going for a base trade, and I believe that's actually a very powerful thing to do here. I do like that. As Solar now meets these Immortals, he's gonna try to kill one. Doesn't quite work out. This base is being defended. I'm not sure if it's gonna stay alive. Stalkers need to blink back as well. Upgrades 2-1 here for hero against the +2 for Solar. Solar is gonna be moving forward with a lot of these lurkers into an odd position. He's going right through the middle. I wouldn't have minded that earlier when the rest of the army was here, but now that these are just naked lurkers, this feels very scary. Even the Oracle damage by itself can be a lot already, as there's just a single Hydra defending this. Storms coming down, decent enough flank coming out of hero. Here comes the link flank, but the Storms are in the right positions, and that means that these Immortals will stay alive. That means that the Stalkers will stay alive, and Solar, in a world of trouble, really is not quite doing what I wanted him to do. And probably not quite doing what he wanted to do. And at this point, we're in a situation where +3 and +2 are about to finish up for hero. Now we're going to be up, what? Three-ish upgrades or so, yeah. And that is painful. For now, it was only a single upgrade, but now it's going to be 3. Army composition of hero also looking very powerful. Lurker count non-existent. Get a blink in for it. Will snipe some of these morphing Hydras, as perhaps 2 of them will finish and turn into lurkers. Ling run by will take out an Immortal. Nice control, but look at this. Links are hardly dealing any damage here. With that +2 armor, Immortal actually gets to stay alive, and that is the big minus here. If you have these links without the melee upgrades, is that you're just not doing a lot with them. They just don't have a lot of damage. That means that all of your other units are going to be costing gas. You don't have a mineral sink. You just have gas sinks. And it does feel like to me that hero is just kind of walking over his opponent. Solar not with a bad early game, Solar not with a bad mid game, but hero, when it mattered the most, was in the correct positions, executed properly, and Solar in a world of trouble as he's down 10 workers, he's down about 13 supply. Hero with a 5th base on the way, continuing his upgrades into shields, into +3 armor as well. We have a mothership that's about to finish up. His immortal will finally fall. But with a 5th base going up and really 0 map presence here for Solar, who is stuck on a composition that is only good if Zerg is up in supply, if Zerg has some type of presence on the map. Like, this is not a good composition to just sit back and relax on. Because the Protoss army is just simply better than Mass Lurker. Like, eventually you can just go into a couple of Tempests and that deals with it. And then Zerg needs to have high Corruptor counts. Right now Solar is desperately trying to stay alive. Well, hero is already in the final phases of this game. Has that fleet beacon done. Doesn't have any upgrades yet for the air weapons, but I don't think he quite needs it. He's going to go for another big attack. There's no prism with this, which is perhaps a bit disappointing, as the mothership's going to be pushing it forward. Get a big storm here on these lurkers. The Zealot run by on towards this hatchery. We have 2 Archons being added into this army. Zealots coming down as well as they're gonna end up falling. That is a little bit frustrating. Lurkers under heavy fire as well. Archons coming from the side. GG gets called as hero does end up winning. First game here in this best of 3. Second map is going to be Alcyone. The beautiful map with the gold. Has a potential 4th or 5th or 7th or 12th base. Whenever you want to take it. You know what I'm surprised by? Is that I've seen almost no Protoss players try to take it as their 3rd base. I really thought that was going to be more common. Just a cheeky little goal as the 3rd. It's relatively well defended. It is close by towards the 3rd that you usually take. I guess the single gas just makes it that much weaker, hey? It is still kind of weird though, I'm not gonna lie. It is a surprise to me. It really is. As we have hero not going for a hatch block. Not going for a no scout, but I think he went for a gateway scout this particular game. So this follow is going to be. It's a weird positioning here on that pylon. Because usually what you'd want to do is you get the Stargate as close to the edge as possible, right? The lower the travel distance of the oracles, get faster to the other side of the map, and as a result, maybe capable of getting a couple of extra worker kills. That's not the case here. So I always get suspicious whenever I see something like this. Like, oh, what's happening here? Is this for hiding tech later on with maybe a fleet beacon or like some double Stargate shenanigans? There's going to be a Twilight Council hidden there as well for like some fast glaive rush. Like, there's a lot of options that Protoss has that they can do. And it's difficult often for the Zerg to figure out exactly what is going on. That's going to be something here for Solar to try and figure out. That's for sure. There's Adepts trying to move across the map, or at least occupy this watchtower. It's gonna be a Void Ray. This already feels funky to me. It's gonna use his next Chrono Boost on it, I can only imagine. Yep, there we go. Get the Chrono Boost there on that Void Ray. And with a Void Ray opener, you know you're in for a treat. Because there's gonna be something stupid happening. We just don't know what yet. It's gonna be dumb and it's gonna be annoying. We're gonna have a good time. But we don't know what quite yet. Second gate comes down. Void Ray into Oracle. It's going to use the prismatic alignment here, most likely. Yep, there we go. It's going to burst this thing down. Don't quite see if he got... Yeah, I got a vision on that Oracle. It's going to be a Twilight indeed. As a follow-up. Twilight pre-Nexus. Now we're talking StarCraft. This is a build, as one would say. This definitely is a build of StarCraft 2. So it's going to be a 4-gate glaive attack. At least 4 gates. It's possible that hero plays it with 5 gate, although that is very uncommon. So I'm fully expecting a just a pure 4 gate. There we go. Fast extra gateways. Now this is I don't want to call this transparent, but it is a little bit transparent, right? It's like, okay, Void Ray first, only single Oracle. Why are you so keen on trying to deny any type of vision? We have a Baneling Nest coming in as well as a second gas, by the way. If this is meant as a defensive response to what hero is doing, that's great, although that would be a big gamble. The movement makes me believe that this is not a defensive gamble. This feels like an attack. And we have pure link production here of a 40 drones. Now we get 2 more drones on the way, 10 more links. I mean, defensively, if Solar doesn't attack, he's actually gonna be in an okay spot because he will be capable of dealing with these adepts better than anyone else ever has in the entire world of StarCraft. However, if Solar is the one that attacks, I think he's in a world of trouble. I think he's in a world of trouble because I don't see any real way of him killing this base or even taking out a significant number of units here. Now, these adepts are going to shade across the map. What are the numbers on this, actually? It's 10 adepts that we have. Is there one at home? No, there's a probe at home. Void Ray stays at home. Battery on the way as well. That's a lot of Banelings here being morphed. So these adepts are going to shade in forward. 526. The Glaives finishes. And they're now in the natural. They're shooting stuff. And they're having a good old time doing it, let me tell you. Queen's gonna get taken out as well. Here comes the finish on that shade. That's beautiful. That's sweet. As 11 drones go down already. At the same time, the Banelings are moving in and could go for a couple of worker kills. Not quite doing... Oh my good Jesus. That's a lot of worker kills here. Does try to go for some of these adepts. I'm not sure if the amount of kills that he got here is enough. I would have loved to see a small split off of Banelings going in towards the main base as well to try and deal with that. At the same time, Lynx trying to hit the third. And when I say trying, they're just hitting the third. There's no trying here as this adept in a bit of trouble. Oracle's going to come in to perhaps try and save the day. 18 workers have gone down on the side of hero now as these Lynx are... Well, for now, still running around. There's some running around in the natural as well. 6 more drones are in production, but we have no upgrades. We have no serious tech except for a Baneling nest, so I stand with my call there. This is not serious tech. This is a primary tech structure basically. And we already have Glaives done. We have +1 halfway done. We have Blink on the way. We now have extra gases being taken for Solar, while throwing down a Roach Warren as well. And probably wants to tech into a lair at some point. He's gonna need that, but at the same time, he's also gonna need something to deal with these incoming adepts, because there are still 14 adepts remaining here. 8 went down in total. Resources lost in favor of hero at this point already, and I think that's gonna get more and more in favor of hero, rather than the other way around. It's gonna need to shade away one more time. Ooh, it's actually gonna get caught here in a teeny little corner. Banelings need to try and connect with this army. Are gonna get some connections, but Lynx do end up falling. Lynx were in production though behind all of this, so not the end of the world as the Queen is now helping out against this adept count. This is going to be a cancel here on this shade. I can't imagine him finishing that, and I wouldn't even mind a recall if that's available, but perhaps due to the earlier recall that isn't available. Drones went back to work a little bit too quick. That's -6 workers on top of the already, however many he lost earlier. More adepts now shading in. This is a serious adept count still, by the way, 7. Or 6. That's no joking matter. Did lose quite a few units. Hero into +2, into a Nexus, second Forge as well. And I mean, we still don't really have anything out of Solar. He's now getting an Evo Chamber. It doesn't have a Fort Hatchery going down yet. Hero just in a phenomenal spot. And Solar is doing his best to stay alive against an Adept push that, honestly, Hero probably stopped thinking about 2.5 minutes ago. Like more of an afterthought now than anything. It's like, I'm just trying to clear some creep tumors. He almost kills Solar with it. Like, that's not a good look. We have a bunch of Roaches in production right now. We have a bunch more Lynx coming in. Solar just doesn't have the space, the financial space to build drones at this point. Like, he's lacking a bit of everything. As a couple more workers are going to fall to this single Oracle. 3 going down in total. Void Ray still at home, just patrolling over this area as a cannon battery get warped in. Charge starts as well. Robotics facility goes down. We're on 6 gas once more, just like in that last game. And I think we're also going down a similar path in this game as in the last game, because it feels to me that Hero, in firm control of this game, actually much better spot this game than he ever was last game in the early stages of the mid game. I mean, I don't even see what Solar's plan is here. Because he's going to need to walk with Queens across the map to deal with the Void Ray Oracle combination. But he just can't. He simply just can't. And at the same time, these adepts are coming in. Gonna get a couple of kills here on these drones. And yeah, this is not a big deal. Like, it's just 4 drones. But it's 4 drones again and again And again, it's 3 drones here, it's 4 drones there, it's 7 here. You know, and all these numbers, they do add up. Plus 3 now starting already for a hero. I mean, this is an extremely one-sided affair, surprisingly so. Because I really had Solar kind of pegged as a higher level Zerg player. One of the top 5 in the world, I would say. And hero, honestly, is kind of making him look like he's just 600-700 MMR lower. Hero still in firm control of this game. Is up 12 workers. He has no business being here out on the map. He doesn't need to be here. He can just stay at home and retire practically at this point, because this is going to push him back quite a bit. This was sloppy. This was sloppy by hero. I think he got too cocky. A little bit too cocky. And still not going to be in trouble, but lost a bunch of these stalkers. The real trouble here for Solar is that he's on a massive timer and he doesn't have that big of an army. Like, and these two things are, yeah, very frustrating for him. We have a Zealot run by now coming in towards his fort base. Zealots are well upgraded as well, don't forget. They have the 2-1 upgrades against just the +1 on the melee. Roaches don't have any upgrades at all, so a significant portion of units needs to be sent back. Gonna have a Ravager squad looking for a potential prism. Are they gonna find it? Solar just barely missing it. As Stalkers move back out on the map. Dark Shrine now on the way, as well as 2 more gateways. So that's going to go up to what? 12 gateways here for hero. And it's his upgrade rushy strategy in these past 2 games. That's actually somewhat worked out. He's still on 6 gas, no Templar Archives. That is surprising, but I guess the gas is going to be used to build a bunch of DTs, or maybe Archons out of DT. That's also a possibility, although not very popular at the moment. Hero seems to be doing just fine with it. As his prism goes across the map, it's going to fly in towards the natural, gets a big warp in of 8 zealots. And this is also how confident hero is, right? It's like you could look at it and be like, oh, that's pretty risky. You're under heavy attack. But hero just says, I can actually afford this warp in over here, and it shouldn't be much of an issue. Might just be a bit of an issue, though. Hero actually is being pushed back by a significant amount. Zealots do start going to work, start going to town on these hatcheries. We're actually in a semi-base trade at this point, but with the Dark Shrine finishing up soon, and with the gateway count that is available, with the fact that there's 5 bases, soon to be against, well, what the heck does Solar actually have? He has like 3 bases at this point. This is natural, is like half an HP remaining. The main is empty. We have this fight over here with DTs being warped in, not a single Overseer here to help out. And despite Solar's best efforts, if you can't see the unit, you can't kill it. 3 more DTs do get warped in, and that brings the total here up to what, like 7? G gets called as hero takes out Solar with a 2-0 score. Much more one-sided than I had expected. Much more one-sided than many people had expected. And that is going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy the series. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.